What is going on, everybody? How are you guys doing tonight? What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, November 23rd, 2025. I hope everybody is doing well. Shout out to anybody who is listening. I hope you guys are doing well. I just found out as well, which I'm disappointed to see, that it looks like um, the Cydia Substrate song from forever ago. It looks like the guy that made that privated it, supposedly, according to what I'm seeing here, which is a shame. But I wonder if he just has it unlisted somewhere, maybe? Does he maybe have the song unlisted somewhere? I don't know. But anyway, what's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? Hope everybody is doing well. If you have any questions, throw them on in the chat, and I will answer them. Let me first make sure real quick that this is working. Yes, it is. All right. And I should also probably tweet this out as well. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just tweet this out. All right. How is everyone doing, though? Please bear with me 1 second. All right, just tweeted that out now. So hope everybody is doing well. Welcome on in to everyone that's just coming in now. Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything coming in loud and clear? I know that the last time that I tried to do this, there was a slight audio glitch. It seems like things should be okay for the moment now. Can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully everything should be good. What is going on to everyone that is joining us now? I hope everybody is doing well. I can't believe that the guy that made the Cydia Substrate song, it looks like took it down. I know at one time it was available on Spotify, although at this point I doubt that it's still available there. Let's see, Cydia Substrate. That's a shame. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on here. That's a shame. That was like a part of history right there. It's a shame that it's not here anymore. I don't think I downloaded that, unfortunately. Maybe I could find it somewhere else online, but it's not on YouTube. That much I can say. Unfortunately, it is not on YouTube. Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome. Sander, what's up? How you doing, Sander? Sander, I'm trying to find the Cydia Substrate song because I was gonna play it for old time's sake, for nostalgia. The guy that did it, I guess, just removed it from the face of the planet. It's just like it's not here anymore. It's not on YouTube. I searched for it. It didn't come up. Which is just honestly disappointing, because that's a piece of like history. So it's disappointing that it's no longer up here anymore. Had I known that he was going to get rid of it, I would have probably downloaded it. I think he removed it. I tried to find it a couple. Yeah, that must have been semi-recent, because I remember playing that like as recent as like a year ago. So that it must be semi recent that he got rid of it, which is just a shame because for those that don't know, this guy was, following the community, and he, enjoyed different aspects of the community and stuff, I guess. He also enjoyed recording music and stuff like that. And he recorded a song about City of Substrate. And then he made a sequel to that around the time that PewDiePie came out with the Congratulations song about the whole subscribe to T-Series battle. Around the time that happened, he also put a sequel to the City of Substrate song out. And that was really cool because that was like a Jailbreak related piece of music. Unfortunately, I guess he removed it. It doesn't seem like it's available any longer, which really is a shame. Now, maybe it's available somewhere on Reddit. Although at this point, it's definitely gone. Oh, did somebody make a open source Corellium program? I just happened to go on our Jailbreak and I'm seeing this 11 hours ago. Built an open source alternative to a popular iOS device tool. Let me see if I could throw this up here. Let's see. Can I throw this up here? Hold on. Let's see here. No. Could do that. So this is interesting. I know many people here use an iOS device management tool, but there wasn't anything open source as an alternative. Oh no, this isn't. Okay, this is different. This is like a what was that called? Like an iFunbox type of thing. That's what this is. This is not okay. Okay, so it's like an iFunbox alternative. Now I don't really know why that's useful in today's day and age right now. And to be honest, I have not scrolled through Reddit in a very long time. So this is interesting to see everything on here. Interesting. Oh, this was in the way. I didn't even notice that. Okay, well, you guys weren't really missing much, to be honest, so. Ooh, okay. There really wasn't much you guys were missing that I had to show there. Oh, there was a reason why I brought up Reddit originally, because I was going to try to look and see. Let's type in this dude's name on Reddit on our Jailbreak and see if it pulls anything up. I remember, though, that somebody posted to... I feel like that's how I found out about it. City of Substrate. City of Substrate song. Someone definitely posted to the Reddit ages ago about it, and that's definitely how I found out that was a thing, but... Okay, that doesn't bring up any results. I like how now that's what I'm trying to do is just find this. It's like a piece of lost media right now, which is a shame because that was a great song. So there's an unlisted link that I just found, but I don't think it actually. I don't think it will actually do anything. Because it said video unavailable, but it's an unlisted link. It's an unlisted link from somebody else that uploaded it. But yeah, that doesn't do anything. Video unavailable. This video is not available. 123,000 views this unofficial video got. That's crazy. I don't even understand how that happened. That's crazy. Let's see. So there was that one. That was an unofficial re-upload. I'm scrolling through my DMs with this guy because there may be a link in here that's unlisted. Let's see. Yeah, so I found another link, but this I think is a private link. I think he made this private. This was the I think the other song, but he made it private. So I have no way of. If the owner of this video granted you access, please sign in. So yeah, there's no way to, which really is a shame. Um, can I call you on Discord? Yeah, I should be able to. Do I have the old Discord set up right now? If I do, I should be able to pipe it through. Yeah, should be on Discord setup. Let's try it, I guess. Sure, why not, right? Give me 1 sec before you call me on Discord. Let me voice and video. Output device. No, I feel like it should be this. Okay. All right, let's try. I'll call you. Hold on. Give me a sec, Sander. Where are you at? I think you changed your name recently. I noticed that. Is this you? Yeah, this is definitely you. Why did you change your name? You never changed your name like ever. That's so weird. Okay. Yeah, I see it. But I don't see any sound on here for some reason. But hold on, let's see. Yeah, no, this is weird. I should be hearing sound. Why is...
Hello?
Okay, actually, I hear it. Wait, talk again?
Hello?
Okay, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, on the call, you hear me?
Yeah, I don't have the video open right now.
Okay.
For the stream.
I'm gonna troubleshoot. It should be fine because I think I have the same setup that I did during the Apple keynotes. So it should be coming through fine. Let's see. All right, Sander, talk again.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Okay, so looks like it works. Looks like it's working.
Great.
All right, so how have you been? What are you up to?
I'm fine. The recent weeks I've been just watching a lot of anime since I don't have a job right now, so I have so much time.
It doesn't surprise me, the fact that you're watching anime. Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Bro, I gotta finish One Piece.
Oh my god. There's like 200 billion episodes of that show, isn't there?
1,150?
That's crazy. I don't even want to know how many episodes you've watched so far. It's probably like too many.
957.
Well, I'll give it to you that you're close. That's crazy. You're almost there.
Yeah, but the bad thing is that I'm so close that they're referencing to shit that happened in like episode 100.
Oh, and you just don't remember.
I watched that episode 4 years ago, so I don't remember what happened there. So like some things they talk about, I don't understand anything of.
Well, how do you think it felt probably in real time? That was probably like 10 years before that when they were making the episode.
It was 20, I think.
Yeah, see? There you go.
I actually watched it real time.
Anyway, so yeah, some of this stuff is definitely interesting. All the stuff that's been coming out. I tested Misaka because I wanted to see what that was gonna be like. And
Did you see that? I think Hui was able to change his Apple Pay card image.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think Lemon was that's a feature Lemon was planning to look into. For those that don't know, by the way, it seems that Lemon is probably sick. Um, must have gotten just like maybe it's a cold or something. I don't know. But he hasn't been feeling that great the last couple of days. So everyone, that's kind of the reason why I think the progress slowed down a little bit. And everyone's just been sort of encouraging him. Listen, you work so hard. Don't overwork yourself. If you're not feeling good, rest up. Wait until you're feeling a little bit better and then keep working on it. But you work so hard, don't work yourself so hard that you're gonna get even more sick. Like if you're not feeling good, just rest up and wait until you feel a little bit better to keep working on it. So for those that have been like, well, what happened? It seems like nothing's really been happening the past few days. That's what seems like has happened recently. Lemon got sick with something. What's up, Square? But yeah, that's the thing that I will say is that unfortunately, a lot of people don't seem to really understand the conceptual idea that developers are actually real human beings. They're not robots. And so, like, they have families, they can get sick, like, they're regular human beings, right? So, and Lemon works really hard, and it's a shame because, um, sometimes, me and other people, we get it, and we will give him, his flowers and will sing his praises and thank him for doing all the work that he does. Whether it's Lemon, whether it's Opa, whether it's other developers of the community from years ago. But it's difficult because then you have the other side of the community that pushes and pushes and pushes, asks for ETAs, is not really accepting of, well, hey guys, I had something in my personal life come up. Like, for example, Lemon, I think, is a student and like is a regular human being, and which means he has like homework and exams, and he may have like family, and he may have like actual human, real human like things going on. So it's just like it's difficult because there's an aspect of the community that understands that, and then there's an aspect that doesn't understand it and looks at him as just like a robot that needs to like finish compiling the stuff, and when ETA Apple Intelligence, when ETA Jailbreak and this and that and whatever. And it's just that aspect of the community, unfortunately, is a little bit less forgiving in terms of not having the understanding that, hey guys, look, this is a real human being. It's not a robot. It's a real human person that is putting this software together. So give him a little bit of time. He's not feeling that great right now. Give him a little bit of time. Let him rest. Let him feel a little bit better, and then he'll work on it again. Like he's been working so hard that he hasn't really given himself the ability to like sit and rest. And that I remember when we interviewed Oppo like a year or so ago. I remember saying, you know, the work didn't stop for you after, and it was interesting to hear his take on this. The work didn't stop for you after you put the jailbreak out. Like, you just kept going because you put the jailbreak out, and then there was this bug that needed to get fixed. There was that bug that needed to get, and he just kept like ripping through new updates, trying to squash as many bugs as possible, trying to make it as stable as possible. And in doing that, it was like, yes, the jailbreak was released, the jailbreak came out, and you would think, okay, well, that's it, job well done, everything's done. Now he can just kind of like step back and rest. But the way that he did things, and the way that some developers choose to do things, is work isn't done after the release. If anything, they're just hard at work trying to iron out and fix any bugs that they end up seeing. And so that just ends up creating a whole other situation there. Um, so that's the thing with that. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think about various different things. Um, I don't know, Sander. What do you think about all that?
Like, I feel like all they find is cool, but like you said, people need to understand that these people have lives and daily jobs and things they need to do too. and they don't sit and do this 24/7. And even coding in general and doing stuff like this takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So like asking, no one knows an ETA, not even them probably. People need to understand that asking for an ETA won't make it faster,
Yeah.
and you won't get that because people don't know when ETA.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like I said, it's just it's difficult because this is unfortunately it's nothing new. Unfortunately, I would make a very likely assumption that stuff like this will continue to happen, and people will continue to just um, assume that um, yeah, well they have the knowledge, they must be able to um, get it out there soon. But the reality of the situation is, like, these guys do work hard on all this stuff. So that's kind of the situation on that. If you don't know, we've been talking about this like this at this point, um, kind of assuming that you guys have been following along. For those that are tuning in that maybe they don't know the latest in terms of what's going on, I'll kind of break some of this down. So the latest of what's going on, if you're familiar with Nugget and the Nugget tool itself, which I assume if you're watching me on this channel right now, you're probably pretty familiar with the billions of Nugget videos that I've put out recently. um, but no, I mean Nugget. The thing is, I've always had like a thing on my channel where if I'm posting a video, I it's something that I feel that is worth talking about. And Nugget itself, over the past, has it been probably, yeah, over the past like year or so since it's been out, Lemon just keeps adding more and more and more and more to it, to the point where it's become this massive thing. Like, it doesn't just let you change, let you add the dynamic island to older phones. Maybe that's initially what it started out with. It initially started out with like the smaller mobile gestalt stuff, enabling dynamic island, enabling always on display on the older phones. Maybe that's how it started. But it quickly just expanded into this massive tool where not only is it some of that stuff, but you also can do some really, really cool wallpaper poster board stuff where you can have like dynamic moving animated wallpapers. And that is really, really cool. So having the ability on swipe up to get like really cool animations, like, maybe Mario from Mario Galaxy on swipe up, like flies onto the screen, or however you want to. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, check out some of my Nugget videos because you'll understand. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's quickly become this tool that is more than just one singular thing. Like, and that I think is when the software for this community is at its best, when eventually it becomes more than we thought was possible. Like, for example, this morning in the stream this morning that I did, we talked all about Troll Store and how big that really wound up being, and how that ballooned into something way bigger than we thought initially that it was going to be. Um, Troll Store initially started out in its first initial version. It's just, yeah, you could use this to sideload apps indefinitely and it won't expire, and that's really, really cool. And at its basis, that's the basics of what Troll Store is. But it wound up turning into more than that, because not only can you install things indefinitely without worrying about it expiring or getting revoked or anything. Not only is there that, but it quickly turned into something of, well, you can do this, 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 and this without a jailbreak using a Troll Store app. Copylog Troll Store Edition. Copylog was a jailbreak tweak that was fairly popular in the community. The developer figured out somehow, this was, by the way, before semi jailbreaks, before serotonin, before Nathan LR, before any of that. The developer somehow figured out how to run Copylog, how to run a jailbreak tweak without a jailbreak on Troll Store. So it was really, really cool at the time. And it's just one of those things where it at first started out being this one thing, and then it quickly ballooned and evolved to being this whole other amazing thing. So it's definitely cool for sure. It's definitely. A really cool thing. But yeah, with that being said, let me see. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to leave it in the chat. I do see that there are a few people watching, so shout out to you guys watching Sunday night at almost 9 o'clock at night. I appreciate you guys watching. But yeah, what else? I feel like there was something else that happened here. Let's see.
Have you heard anything about the new Nathan LR? By the way, anymore?
I have not. There hasn't been anything publicly discussed about that. My assumption is that judging on how far along it seems, because Michael has started to put some stuff out there, in terms of, hey, give me some ideas of tweaks to test. He's had it. He's been testing it. Given that there's that situation, I can't imagine that it'll take forever and ever and ever. But I certainly don't want to say, yeah, sure, tomorrow for sure it's happening, right? I don't know. But I do feel confident enough to say that I feel like before the end of the year, it will probably come out. Now, is that definitively going to happen? I don't know. And obviously no ETAs either way, right? Like, I can't give a definitive ETA in terms of when exactly to expect it. But yeah, it definitely seems like something that, because it's as far along as it seemed, judging from everybody online so far on Twitter that has it, and Nathan himself, judging on how far along the project seems, I don't think it'll take too much longer. I think probably, like I said, before the end of the year, it will come out. That's my assumption on that. But again, like I said, that's just very difficult to know.
Because the Misaka thing already released, right?
Misaka
26.
Yeah, that's been out for since a couple of days at least, like maybe a week or so at this point now.
Did you test it?
Misaka?
Yeah.
Are you you're not saying their semi jailbreak, but you're saying
No.
Yeah.
The mobile Gestalt things.
Yeah, the mobile Gestalt thing, or just however you say that. I did test it a little bit. It's not right now. It's not recommended. And they even have it in the tool. They have a big disclaimer basically that says, "Hey, listen, don't use this right now. It's not super stable. And if you use this, you may encounter some bugs, some glitches, some boot loops. So at the very least, it's good that there is a disclaimer. That's the good thing." Okay, seeing a comment here saying, what are the limitations to it? Because it doesn't seem like it's doing anything great besides adding dynamic island, Apple Intelligence on unsupported devices. iPad multitasking isn't even stable enough for devices. Yeah, so iPad OS mode, that's really cool. The ability to basically turn an iPhone into iPad OS, that was a thing that wasn't entirely possible before. Now, yes, you could get the stage manager on iPhone. You could get some of these things on iPhone. Previously, it was possible to do that. But basically, using this stuff, you can take iOS and enable iPad OS, which, again, the distinction there isn't, it makes sense. It's basically an on and off switch, essentially, if you go deep level enough into the code, because, again, the code between iPad OS and iOS is very, very, very similar. It's basically one and the same. It's just slightly, ever so slightly different, for iPad. To the point where in the first few versions of iPad OS, there was virtually nothing that was anything different between iPad OS and iOS. It actually, believe it or not, took several years before they actually made iPad OS completely stand out over iOS, and they gave iPad OS distinct multitasking features and distinct things that, oh yeah, this, it makes sense as to why now it's called iPadOS, because it's distinctly different. Even though it's basically the same, it's distinctly different because you have this multitasking feature, that multitasking feature. You have various different things that would never be on an iPhone. It would never be on regular iOS. The only thing I don't like about Misaka is that you can't really reset mobile gestalt easily. I've tried resetting. Yeah, again, and I would just wait for Nugget. That's why I haven't covered it here. I haven't made a tutorial. I haven't said to go do it. When the developer themselves is labeling the tool as unstable in every release, that should let you know right there, essentially not to touch it and not to trust it in terms of the reliability and the stability of that overall. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. That's what I would say in terms of that. Um, but yeah, on another note, because I know inevitably this is something that definitely will happen at some point. Inevitably, I know that whenever Nathan LR does happen, um, it's gonna be a situation where people are gonna look for a 15, a 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, 14. They're gonna look for these devices on 17.0. Now, I will say, the devices, when you're talking about like dopamine, you're talking about serotonin and Nathan LR, the previous versions, um, and you're talking about 16 to 16.5 and even 16.6 for like the Nathan LR and serotonin versions. If you're talking about that, there was a higher likelihood, because there was more of an iOS range, there was a higher likelihood that you would end up somehow being able to find something in the 16 to 16.5 range. You would maybe be able to find something. It was still difficult to find that. Now we're in a situation where the ability has shrunken way more to it's one singular iOS version at this point right now. It's iOS 17.0. Nothing earlier, nothing newer. And so if it's 17.0.1, in my hunt to try to find one, I even have seen 17.0.6, 17.1, 17. I have seen where it's been semi close, but not a 17.0 device. And the problem then becomes it is even more of a needle in a haystack just to find that. So it's difficult, and it's easy for me to sit here and say, guys, don't feed into that jailbreak tax. For those that don't know what I mean, one day soon I will probably do another stream where, and I did this around the dopamine era just because I wanted to kind of see as well, and it was definitely a thing. The jailbreak tax happens when you get a situation like this, and I will tell you it's probably going to be even worse. So strap in. It's probably going to be even worse than the dopamine jailbreak tax was, because that was 16 to 16.5. That was a way broader selection there. Now you're dealing with a situation where, because it's one iOS device range, or sorry, not device, iOS firmware range, it's one iOS version. Because of that, you're dealing with a situation now where the jailbreak tax is going to be even crazier. Again, for those that don't know what that is, people say they have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, 1 terabyte, or let's say 128 gigabyte. Let's say it's base model, because that's a better example. Let's say it's iPhone 15 Pro, 128 gigabyte base model. When that was brand new, that was selling like at $1,000, right? So you're getting a situation where somebody has that on 17.0. You're getting a situation where they try reselling that on eBay for 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and the price keeps going up and up and up. And the crazy part is sometimes people will pay that. And the justification there is they throw a 300, 400, 500% jailbreak tax increase on the base price because, oh, well, this is a rare device now and it's a rare iOS version, so people will pay it. Um, and it's just they inflate the price to an insane price that is like way above market value, to the point where the device was not nearly that expensive brand new. Like, that's what's crazy. You're talking about an 128 gigabyte iPhone 15 Pro. So again, when that was brand new, that price is sitting around 1,000 MSRP, right? So you're talking about a situation where that device was priced at $999, was priced at $1,000, and I mean it's a multi-years old phone at this point. You're talking multiple years old. The price should be going down for that, not like skyrocketing up, because it's not a brand new phone at all. So yeah, that's what I'll say for that. Is it's going to be a wild situation. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, and make sure, just try your best not to you know
Extra.
yeah.
Or at least if you're gonna pay extra, not be like this whole bunch. Because like this is finding a phone on the 70 balloon that's like, don't Apple even have a feature that it will update in the box?
Apple does, yeah, but no other, as far as I know, no other retail store besides the Apple Store does that. I don't even know how frequent that is. When that report came out, that was just a report saying the specifics of the Apple Store might start doing that specifically. But as I know thus far, no other retail place besides an Apple Store has the ability to do that. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. Shout out to you, Shrek. Thanks for coming in here. Let me read some
So
more of the chat. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Sander? Before I read chat.
to get like understand how hard it will be to find a 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max or any 15 or any device in 17 below that's unopened, is that iOS 17.0 released in the start of September, and there was another iOS release version, that iOS 17.0.1, released right after, and that patched that bug again. So it's like almost impossible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Um yeah, I mean I'm already seeing, by the way, I saw one listing just now. Um and it's not a crazy scalper price, like insane, like $5,000 or $10,000 insane scalper price, but it is a little bit of a scalped price for sure, because the device is years old, so it should be worth half of what it's listed at. Um, That's my take on that, though. Let me read chat, though. Let me see what you guys have been saying. Thanks, guys, for listening. Let's see. I think the ability to write to mobile Gistol is more exciting than the jailbreak for 17.0, because a lot of people are on newer versions. Exactly. That's why it's kind of in the headlines a little bit more. Doesn't seem too promising with this new jailbreak. It seems like it won't have full capability. It's still in development. Doesn't seem promising at all. So a semi jailbreak does 99.999% of everything that a regular jailbreak does. You'll get Cilio, you'll get the ability to install all your favorite jailbreak tweaks. It's just a question of whether or not stuff is updated to work. Um, but yeah, it's basically, there is no discernible difference for the regular user. There's just not. Especially for what you're receiving with the jailbreak, there's no point in even searching for a device merely just to get a couple of tweaks on your home screen. Yeah.
Well,
So glad I'm
I
on
would say
16.
there that I think that depends on how you use the jailbreak. Because personally, I run like 20 tweaks that does things with every aspect of the iOS.
Yeah. So, I
So I
mean,
think that's
that's,
the user what you need with the jailbreak. Because I change everything. Like if someone see my iPhone, I think they'll think that it's an Android.
yeah.
Because I customize it so much. I make it my own personal device.
Yeah, and I mean, it is pretty cool, obviously, that you're able to do that for sure, but, um, Again, guys, if anybody has any other questions or anything that they want to talk about, feel free, throw it in the chat. Um, Square says, I feel like no one really cares about jailbreaks anymore. Yeah, a very small percent of people are on newer versions that it's pretty much obsolete. Yeah,
Yep. Jailbreak is pretty much dead.
yeah.
There was someone funny because there are some, since I have a Google phone too. There,
Yeah, I know what you mean,
I'm
Square.
in. Yeah, since I have a Google phone too, I'm in some Android groups on Telegram, and then someone showed a jailbroken iPhone, and I showed mine, and then a lot of people thought I was on iOS 18, so
That's
they asked
funny.
how to jailbreak iOS 18, but I said that wasn't possible, and it was on 16.
And that's what's so funny about that, too, because it's been so long at this point, you would think now that, it is possible to do 17 and 18, but it's just not a thing. So that's the one thing that I would say. Um, but I will say it is funny because um, we will start. That's going to be a thing that we're going to start to see more frequently now. Is these devices priced way higher than they should be? That's definitely what we're going to start to see for sure.
Even if you can find one,
Yeah.
I think that's like finding one in general will be like very hard.
Yeah, Leon, and that's a legacy jailbreak. Yeah, that's the thing. So I think the legacy jailbreak community will care, and that'll be really cool for them. I think legacy jailbreak people will care because legacy jailbreak people still happen to be on that iOS version, right? Um, I mean, I will tell you, I got lucky. I have a 12 Pro Max on 17.0 still that I was originally using for Troll Store stuff. So if you were using Troll Store stuff and you happen to just like sit there on that version and you just bought a new phone instead of updating that version, you got lucky because now you'll be able to use this. Um,
Yeah.
so
What I can also say, depending on like tweak compatibility, from what I've heard, I haven't tested it myself, of course, because I don't have a device that's on 17.0. But from heard from the tweak compatibility, is that no status bar tweaks that are not updated for iOS 17 or iPadOS 17 will work because Apple changed the coding of the status bar in iOS 17. But a lot of other tweaks work.
right. So we'll definitely have to see in terms of the specifics on that. That's what I will say. Um,
I think both of these stuff is interesting. We haven't had like anything for like almost a year, I think.
yeah, so I mean that's what I'm saying. That's my point. It's exciting because it has been so long since anything happening. Um, yeah, I think you guys are gonna enjoy Nathan LR. I think. I mean, like, listen, again, it's not for any new iOS versions other than 17.0 right now. That's it. But I think it'll be pretty cool. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
Now, I will say, I wonder if there's any way to go through um, for any store that might still have like super old inventory, like sealed inventory. But again, this is another like needle in a haystack type of thing. Um, any old sealed inventory of the iPhone 15 still. And if they do, if there's a way of checking like when the device was manufactured and stuff like that. Um,
What what you can ask, this is the store if they want to answer you this, but one hint you can ask is when did the store receive this? Because they have that in their system when they receive that item in their shop.
oh, that's
So
true.
that's the
That's a
first you
good
can
point.
ask. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the because that's what I did with mine phone because I bought this 14 Pro like when I bought it right before iOS 18 came and I found it and I asked the people that worked when did this phone get in and I saw the date and I found out which iOS it would be on.
Yeah.
So I guessed myself to it and it was only like one below, so it worked fine.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. 15 Pro is nice. 10s Max here. The phone is not as fast as it used to be, but it still feels premium. Yeah. Nugget's the most promising thing now. This new mobile Gestalt exploit will offer way more for most versions, while this jailbreak is very limited. Yes. With what you're getting on the jailbreak, you should just buy an Android rather than paying a premium price. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't disagree. For how insanely, ridiculously expensive it's going to be, I definitely don't disagree with that. Yeah, it's definitely going to be crazy expensive. Um,
Also, AirDrop is fucking working on Android
yeah,
now.
that's
What
pretty
the fuck is up
crazy.
with
If
that?
I had an Android phone, I would demo that for you guys. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Did you
The
try? Did you
the
try that at all? Because I know you
No,
have.
they made it so you need to have the Pixel 10 and have the Pixel 9.
Oh, that's like an Apple
So
type
it's
of thing to do. That you need like the
but
latest or
but
one
I
of the
wonder, will
latest.
this be patched? Was this allowed? Did Apple allow this?
I mean, it's an interesting question. Like,
Because like I also
yeah,
heard recently that Google is gonna make the AI for Apple or something.
yeah. So maybe that was like a bargaining chip of like, listen, if we're gonna help you with your AI, like you're gonna let us
Mm-hmm.
finally use AirDrop with Android because like AirDrop is amazing and there should be a way to do that from Android to iPhone and from iPhone to Android. But I feel like if it was a more official thing, Apple would have announced it. So
Yeah, but I think like AirDrop are so many. Like I never use AirDrop, but is that a very used feature? Because I
I
don't
mean,
know so many that use AirDrop so much.
I use it all the time because
Okay.
for me personally, it's like the greatest feature of all time because if I have footage for a video that I shot on my 17 Pro Max and I want to throw it over to my Mac Studio, I can plug it in wired and transfer it that way. But if it's a quick, like 20, 30-second clip that I want to just, like a B roll clip that I want to just add really quick, instead of having to go through the hassle of, I mean, again, it's just a little bit more complicated of you plug it in, you got to click a couple of buttons, like, okay, like that's the most inconvenient thing in the entire world, right? Like that's not that difficult to do. But it's just the extra convenience of just going to airdrop it and just being able to like seamlessly throw it over to the Mac Studio and being able to just immediately in real time get that video clip to be able to throw it on the timeline and start editing. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it's such a nice feature for creators. So I use it probably way more than the regular person does for that reason
Okay.
alone. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Because
outside of that, outside of that reason, like you may use it to transfer pictures and videos to like family members and friends and stuff like that. Like I could see that being a reason and a use case as to why you would want to use AirDrop maybe as well. Like if you're on a vacation and you took some photos on vacation and you want to share it with family members or friends or whatever easily, then that feature is there. Um,
I also like personally, I would much rather want like iMessage on fucking Android. That's
yeah,
probably the future. I like the one that I misses the most for using Android
yeah.
over iPhone.
I mean, the experience definitely got way, 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 way better than it used to be though, because RCS is like finally something that
Yeah, but
iPhone can do. So
they haven't implemented that in Norway. No carrier uses that yet.
really, they haven't
Yep.
implemented
So
that at
that
all.
no,
That's
no. So I was
crazy.
like, when I got it, I was trying to set it up for my dad on his iPhone, and I found no carrier implemented RCS on iPhone. So still only Android have that, and
That's
here
crazy.
almost I will say 80% of the population have an iPhone over an Android. So like yeah, RCS is not that useful for me. I would rather much want iMessage.
Yeah,
That's the thing I probably misses the most.
that's crazy. Wow, that's a shame. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. So there is probably like U.S., Canada, and a couple of other countries probably have access to it. There's probably a lot of countries that don't. Let's see.
Yeah,
Think that there was more of a reasoning to jailbreak before because the amount of limitations Apple had on their devices before. With new EU regulations, it opened a lot of doors. Yeah, yeah, you're
that's
not
basically
wrong.
that's very true. I
Yeah,
feel. I
yeah,
also feel that the iOS 18 quick center, no, control center, is much better
yeah,
and much more customizable.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we're definitely in a better place all the way around with everything with iOS. I mean, I can't. I love all the liquid glass stuff. I love the new icons. I love the new UI. I mean, I think everything just looks so good. For whatever reason, though, there are a lot of people that don't like liquid glass. And it reminds me a lot of like the iOS 6 to iOS 7 days of when that change happened. There were a lot of people that didn't like the change. And then obviously years and years and years went by and people started to get more and more used to it. Um, but yeah, it reminds me of the initial change people were like very up in arms about initially when iOS 7 first came out. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, of the outrage and the outpour of like negative feedback that Apple got about it when they first put it out there. But I don't know. I really like it. I do. I think it looks really nice.
I
Um,
agree.
especially like I'm saying with the clear tint, with the clear icons. Looking at the iOS 18 or 17 control center seems so old. Yeah, for real. If you want something even older than that, go back to like the iOS 12 control
Nine,
center or
nine,
iOS 9. Yeah,
iOS 9.
iOS
That's
9 really control center. Yeah, skeuomorphism, take me back. Yeah. So I do wish that they, and maybe a future version will be like that, a combination of the liquid glass and skeuomorphism. I do wish they
what's
did
cube
that.
narcissism? Is
So
that the old
like
thing?
yeah, it was pre iOS 7. It was when the icons looked more
Oh,
like uh
okay.
3D
Retro
depth
style, I call
oriented.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually call that retro style.
Yeah. So who knows? They might bring that back and there might be like a hybrid between what we have now and that as well at some point. But yeah, I don't know. We shall see. It'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, but I hear some people complain about the liquid glass, but personally I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
think
like
it's
it.
nice.
I like it. I don't know why anyone would really complain personally.
But can't you turn it off now on the newest version?
So you can't fully turn it
Or just thin
off.
it down?
Yeah, you can scale it back a little bit. You can't really completely turn it off, but you can scale it back significantly. With Nugget though, with the newer versions of Nugget, you'll be able to it basically lets you disable it and turn it off.
Okay.
So which is again nice for people that got a brand new phone that didn't have the option. Because if you got a brand new phone, it came on 26, so it's not like you had that option of being like, I don't really like the look, I want to stay on iOS 18. Like for people that stayed with their old phones, you could make that choice and decide you weren't going to update the iOS version. But if you had to get a new phone for whatever reason, or you decided you wanted to get a new phone, you know, any new phones that came out this year, like any of the 17 series, they come out of the box with iOS 26, so that they give you no choice. Like you have that. Um, I hate when they change UI stuff. Feels like innovation for the sake of innovation. Yeah, but like it's been a
I think
very
it's
long
nice.
time. Yeah, but it's also been a very long time since they've changed anything in terms of the UI. Like the last time was
What
literally
I
2013.
Yeah, but they update the UI for like the lock screen thing. That was
Right.
iOS
But
16.
I'm saying like liquid glass was much more of I mean they still kept a lot of the familiarity of using iOS pretty much the same, but it was a much bigger leap in terms of a UI change than there has been in a long time. So for me, that's why I liked it so much, because I've been waiting since iOS 7. I've been waiting for another big UI change. And that
Mhm.
honestly was something that always stuck out to me of like, okay, it's May, it's the end of May. What's your wish list and what are your predictions for the new iOS version for the year? Because that's
Mhm.
kind of like once May comes around and we're like end of May, early June when WWDC comes around, and when we get the new iOS version for the year, that's kind of always the conversation is, well, A, what's your wish list for what you want to be in the new iOS version? And B, what's your more realistic take on what you think they're going to do? And so my top wish list feature was always I would love a UI refresh, I would love a UI change. But my more realistic take on things was, well, probably not this year. It's probably not going to happen, especially with certain years. So there were certain rumors where, well, there's probably not going to be as many new features. It's probably going to be just a bug fix update. And early initial rumors of iOS 27 are saying that it's going to be more bug fix oriented. We'll see whether or not that ends up happening. Um, what do you think we'll expect in 27 or later versions? Yeah, so it's Square exactly what I was just saying. So yeah, so early rumors so far are saying for 27 that it'll be more of a bug fix focus. But I do think they have to do something about Apple Intelligence stuff. Like, I really hope that in 27, more of what they initially promised is gonna finally ship, because like I feel like they have um, what's the word that I'm looking for? There's this um almost like this need from Apple to finally ship this feature and finally provide it, because it took them so long. So I do hope that they finally sort that out. Um, let's see. What has everybody else been saying? What do you think? Yeah, okay, so that's in terms of any other iOS 27 things. Liquid Glass obviously was the big 26 feature. So do they go big again, like 2 years in a row? I don't know. I don't think that they do that. Um, I mean, there are very limited things left to where it's like, that makes sense, that makes sense. I sure hope they do that. The only things left that I really have that that I think about is obviously, of course, one day doing proper theming and having like theme packs on the App Store. That makes way too much sense for Apple, because that introduces like a whole other revenue stream for designers like and developers on the App Store. Like, they could charge for icon packs. Like, it would make way too much sense, and that would be amazing. But that would make way too much sense for Apple to do that. So realistically, I don't know that that's ever happening. I feel like that's the next like logical huge step that they do. Other than that, I mean, a Dex like feature would be really cool. Something like external monitor support built in on iOS. Obviously, that's a thing on iPadOS with Stage Manager and all that stuff, and external monitor and sidecar and this and that. And they have so many different iPadOS features, but nothing like that has come to iPhone yet. So something like that, and something maybe like a dynamic stage, something like multitasking, that would make sense. Let's say maybe that's an iPhone Pro exclusive feature, or not Pro, but sorry, an iPhone Max exclusive feature, so it only comes to the bigger phones. Um, I could see if they ever do anything like that, I could see Apple doing that to where it's exclusive to the bigger phones, because screen resolution wise, there's going to be more screen real estate on the bigger phones to do multitasking like that. So it would make sense for that to be the case. But we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, there are certain things. There's only like a handful of things that I could really think of on one hand, that I could really think of to pull from to be like, yes, this makes sense. This is something that I definitely would love to see them do. there's less and less and less, as the years go on. And so that's what makes it definitely interesting, because we're going to get to a point to where it's like, well, what else can they really do? They did the UI redesign. They crossed that off. Now they have some of the multitasking features left. They have theming left. And then if they do those two things, I mean, those two things are like the glaringly massive features that they'll probably never do. But if they do those two things, then really, what else really is there that's left after those few features? So it
You know
definitely.
one future
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I know one feature that I really want with iOS is that I can choose which side I want my clock to be on the lock screen.
That is such a small feature that I'm surprised that's not already a thing. Like that's
Yeah,
such a
that's like
small. Like that would take them literally zero point 0.5 seconds to code that. Like that's such a small
yeah,
feature.
I know, and like that's the thing because like almost all wallpapers I use are the character in the middle or the finger in the middle. So
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't work. So it's like that's like the one thing that I always do when I have a jailbreak. I just change the clock to one side,
Yeah.
and that because like it just makes my UI look cleaner. I feel like
Yeah. That just seems something that's such an easy thing. Maybe they'll add that, but that seems like it's an oversight of like that's so easy it's not even something that anybody's thinking about, because like it's just such a
yeah, I
basic
guess.
feature. But
And I guess the other thing I would like is that if you can change the actual clock size. I don't know if you can do that with iOS 26.
26 you can to a certain extent, but you can only make it bigger. You can't really make it
Okay,
smaller than what the default size is.
okay, because mostly I like to have it smaller than bigger.
Yeah.
That's what I usually change. That's
Yeah,
like the
no.
second thing. And like the theming thing you talked about, I have a feeling that will never happen.
Yeah. It's just a shame because that makes too much sense. Like that's a massive revenue stream that they would open for developers if they decided that they wanted to do that. It's a shame that they'll probably
Yeah,
never do it.
yep. I know that you can theme with like shortcuts and stuff, but I don't feel like it just don't feel the same to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's definitely feels different for sure. But with that being
I'm also
said, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm I'm also pretty sure if you theme with shortcuts,
Yeah,
you can't have notification badges anymore
interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
because
interesting.
it will make separate. As far as I know, I haven't tried this myself because yeah, I don't see a reason to try it. As far as I know, you will create other icons that you can have on your home screen, and since those aren't the main icons, you won't get the notification badges on those icons
Interesting. Very interesting. iOS 37 ETA when?
in 10 years or
Yeah,
11. ETA 11
2037.
years.
No, 2030. No, no, no. It will be 2037. Yeah.
Bro, but the real question
Yes.
is iOS 37 jailbreak when ETA?
When ETA? Yes, that's the real question. Square, I know. I'm excited. Off topic, but Stranger Things season 5 is coming in 3 days. Yes, I'm very excited. Sander is crazy and he only watches anime and doesn't watch anything else. So he can't share in the Stranger Things excitement. But yes, I'm very excited. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be very exciting. I can't
My
believe
whole
you don't
family is
watch Stranger
excited for it
Things.
though.
He don't
Bro,
know
like only
peak.
anime
Yeah.
interests me. Only anime. I try
That's
to
wild,
watch
man.
I try to watch like all these shows. Not Stranger Things though, but I tried watch a lot of other shows, and like none of them interest me. But I can sit and watch like 30 anime episodes a day. I just think it's funnier. It just enjoys me more.
It's Stranger Things though. Like this was like the flagship Netflix show. Like
Yeah, I know how hyped it is.
this is, and that's the funny thing. That's what's crazy too. This is the final season of the show, and this show was like, I mean, it's still a big deal, but this was massive when it first came out. Like I don't think that could be understated how big that this show really like became when it first came out. Now, granted, since you're in Sweden, I don't know how, or not
Norway.
Sweden, sorry, Norway. That's what I meant to say. Um, since you're in Norway, I don't know if it's as popular, but like
It
it's
is very popular.
yeah, it's definitely semi-popular around the world still. Might
It
not
is
be
very popular.
as like crazy popular as it is in the States as it is everywhere else. But I still think it's probably pretty popular no matter where, since like Netflix and streaming and stuff, you can get like worldwide stuff, and
I
things
think
in
the
different countries.
one I've I finished one show other than anime, and the only show I can remember I finished was Gotham. I don't know if you watched that one. I like that one though.
Was what?
Gotham.
Datum?
Gotham.
Gotham?
Yeah, that show.
Oh,
I watched all of
Gotham?
it.
Yeah.
I liked that one. That one
Oh,
was cool.
that's the show you've seen. Out of literally
Yeah, but
every I mean, I liked
I
that show
tried
too,
Game of
but out of every peak TV show, the one show you've seen is something that people hate. That's funny. Cuz
I tried Game
people
of
hated the
Thrones
end
too,
of
but
that.
that bored me. The
I
end of
don't
it?
Yeah, people
Yeah, the
hated
last
well
the
both it
I'm gonna be. I
both
think the
shows
last season was not the greatest.
of Gotham. Yeah.
But yeah, the last season was the greatest, but I think the first three seasons I really enjoyed.
Yeah. So you must like Batman then if you liked Gotham.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I watched Gotham, I played all the games of Batman too.
Okay. All right, so you know from something good at least, even though like people said that they didn't like that, but I really enjoyed that show. I liked it.
I
Um,
tried Game of Thrones too, but that I folded off. It didn't interest me enough.
yeah, I'm on like season 2 right now of Game of Thrones. I'm
Yeah,
watching
same.
it.
I've been there 9 years.
That's crazy. You got to get back to that. Well,
Bro,
that's
I
like
watched that show when I was 12 though,
that's
or something. Yeah,
crazy.
12.
Considering what is in that show, that is crazy that you were
I,
watching that at 12 years old.
I think I was a bit too young to understand it, maybe.
Yeah,
Because I remember it's.
not gonna get into the exact specifics of what goes on in that show, but if you know, you know. So,
I watched
um,
all of season one and I watched half of season two, and then I followed off. I just felt it was boring. But I think again, I think I was a bit too young.
I just can't believe you were watching that at 12. That's crazy. Um, anyway, interesting. Okay, so you at least know a few things other than anime, even though you only watch anime for the most part.
I watched a lot of the MCU shows. I watched DC Legends of Tomorrow first three seasons. Um, I watched some Flash. I watched some Arrow.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, those are the shows I remember. And I tried watching other shows, but they are not memorable for me.
makes
I
sense.
forgot what they're called.
All right. Well, I think I'm probably going to start to wrap up now. If anyone has any last minute things they want to talk about, any last minute questions or anything, feel free to let me know. Drop it in the chat. Sandra, I don't know if you have any last minute things you want to talk about.
Nah,
Yeah,
I think we talked about a lot.
I do too. So yeah, I don't know when exactly ETA for the new Nugget version and for the 17.0 semi jailbreak, but hopefully ETA Sun for both of them. It'll be out at some point, but you just don't know when.
ETA when it's ready.
ETA when it's ready. There you go. All right, guys. With that being said, I think I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in and listening. Thank you, Sandra, for coming up here. And,
No problem, man.
and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks, everybody, so much for listening. And I will talk to you guys soon. Before I go, let me just see what Square said. Windows version is now fixed by a contributor. It's in the pinned channels. Yes. When ETA Mac fix, because Mac still doesn't work. So hopefully ETA Sun for that. Maybe. I don't know.
Of
Maybe you have to
Nugget
wait for
or
Lemon.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's Nugget is in beta right now. Like the version 7 is in beta, and it was broken for the most part for Mac and for Windows. Definitely for Windows, it was like very broken. I think somebody kind of fixed it a little bit for Windows, and that's what Square is saying. But the Mac version is still semi broken. And I know because I keep getting the same error over and over and over and over again. So yeah, hopefully that'll be fixed soon. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap up now. Thanks everybody so much for listening, and yeah, if I don't talk to you guys before it, have a great Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is
Alright, that's
soon.
now. Yeah,
Um,
guys, for you guys live in the US
yeah,
and Canada, I don't know which other countries have it.
Canadian Thanksgiving I think was last month. I think
Okay.
they do it a little bit differently. Yeah, but Thanksgiving in the US is in a couple of days. So if I don't talk to you guys before then, I may do another stream before that. But um if I don't then happy early Thanksgiving. And who knows, maybe Lemon will put this out for Thanksgiving. It's only a couple of days away. Um so we'll
You
see.
guys can pray.
Yeah, there you go. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks, everybody, so much for listening. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Take it easy.
Same, guys.